Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Cook, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen, Bottas, Norris, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, De Vries, Albon, Richard Verschoor and Logan Sargent. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Welcome along then to where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the very final corner. And just 1 year later, Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's time then for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights, for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if, of course, the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Cook, Gasly, Stroll, Ocon, Magnussen, Joe, Bottas, Norris, Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Sargent, Albon, De Vries, Oscar Piastri and Richard Verschoor. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me once again for coverage of today's race is none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Now, let's talk about Charles Leclerc.
Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc?
They need 8th or better to ensure they stay in contention for the championship. Anything outside of that, and their fate is no longer in their hands.
The key now will be to keep in the right mindset. We've seen time and again that things go wrong if you just try and do the minimum. Not necessarily because of the pressure, but because it's different to your usual approach. They'll need to avoid that and stay focused today.
Information on De Vries. They're retiring from the race.
Championship in 1991. You deserve to do so at this time. One of many things Sao Paulo is known for.
straight. Watch out for jams and misgears.
Both podium finish, same race, was back in 1994 at the Grand Prix.
We've witnessed some great battles around the historic curves of Interlagos today, and they've taken a fantastic win. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners.